This forum does not reflect the official opinion of the Corn Mafia Guild. Rather, it serves as a platform for members and guests to express their individual perspectives and opinions. We hope to create an environment where a variety of topics and conversations can take place, ultimately enriching the experience of our members and guests. We value and respect diverse opinions, and we encourage all to engage in respectful discourse.
Oh my goodness. We're back at it. We're back at
like
it.
some crack addicts.
Oh, back at it like crack addicts. Oh man, what a great day today is. I had good conversations, pre-show conversations. They were awesome.
Yep. Burning up all our good material with the Scruff Master.
I know, right? Well, shit, you can't stop laughing. Scruffy's funny.
Scruff Master always has good material.
Yeah, man.
Supply, ladies and gentlemen. Free for all.
Good supply chain. Got to remember that supply chain now. Got to remember that supply chain. Shit, I got to put my phone somewhere. What the hell? Oh, you know what? I got a charging dock. Why don't I just put it on that shit? Didn't even think of that. I bought this thing off Amazon. Haven't used it once. There we go. Using it now.
All right. We are cooking with grease. Look at that. We're already in the show. We're already talking about today's topic, which is security, Discord security.
Yeah.
We're just cruising right along.
Yeah, we have a couple I wanted to add a subject too.
Ooh.
Is pissing in the shower acceptable? Maybe we'll talk about that later. I was just wondering.
Let's let the audience cook on that like really heated debate topic. I don't know where that came from.
I was watching a site
alone too, so you're just like debating with yourself. There's like no one even be mad at you about it.
Came
like,
from.
Is it ethical? I don't know.
I think we saved that one for the end of the show.
And yeah,
I think as you mentioned before, there's a lot of qualifiers, right? Do you live by yourself? Do you live with someone else?
Do you have
talking about a camping situation where you're like in an RV or something like that? Or?
Yeah, I saw an Instagram story that one with George urinated from Seinfeld. George urinated in the shower at the gym with everybody in the shower with him.
Oh, okay, well that's definitely a no. I'd say definitely.
Well, I just thought it was funny because George is like, he's like, yeah, I heard that, holding in your urine isn't healthy, and Jerry's like, I don't think standing in a puddle of your own urine is very healthy either. So I don't know. It's just something.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch that show Alf.
Oh yeah.
And there was an episode again as like, I don't know, a 10-year-old or 11 or 12, I don't know how old I was, but something like that. I found this hilarious. The dad walks in and they're talking about they got a camper or something like that, and the little kid says, "I love their camper. They've got a toilet in the shower." And Alf just looks over and goes, "So do we."
Excellent, awesome. Okay, guys. So yeah, let's start with the with the big thing that happened here the other day in Discord. I thought it was
yesterday. Well, I mean, if we're talking about the Cornucopias Discord server hack, right?
Yeah, man. I thought that was.
Steve O woke up to find his account hacked. Apparently, this went down sometime around 3:00 in the morning, my time. Yeah, weird. Especially Steve. Steve is very security conscious.
Yeah.
My first thought was that he didn't have two-factor authentication on. However, I was led to believe by various sources that he did have two-factor authentication, and it was some sort of new type of token hack.
Huh.
No way. So like they sent a token to his wallet, and then that was linked with his Discord, so they were able to get access to Discord somehow?
I unfortunately don't know any more details, right?
This
is kind of all hearsay. I have not talked directly with Steve about it yet, but, again, Steve and I have had a couple of conversations about various other security things as far as wallets and browsers and things like that. And again, he is usually very, very security conscious. So I'm told this was some sort of new type of hack, but I'm getting it secondhand, so I can't really verify any of the details.
Huh.
I got you. Yeah, that's always. Sorry.
But no, I'm sorry. I had a pregnant pause there, and I apologize. But this baby's got to come out. So just to let you guys know, if you don't already have two-factor authentication on, make sure and turn it on. I think a lot of people do, especially in this space, but it's just an added layer of security. It makes it harder. As we found out, it may not stop everything. So, you got to be just ridiculously careful if you're clicking on any kind of links in there. But yeah,
Yeah,
safety first.
I don't like clicking on links.
I don't either.
Yeah, I especially don't like knowing the source of the hack. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times you'll see people post like, "Oh, I got hacked," and they say it in a way that makes it sound like, "Oh, it could just happen to anybody." But then like when you come down to it, like they did usually, in most of the cases I've seen, they've made some sort of mistake that led to that eventually. As Scruffy's already said, Steve's really like security conscious, so I don't imagine that he made any of those typical mistakes that we see. So, yeah, it's always kind of concerning to not even know how to protect yourself at this point.
Well, it was also interesting that it happened while he was asleep, right? So he wasn't on there actually doing something at that point in time when they commandeered his account, and apparently they started going in there, deleting channels, deleting invites, deleting users, and then replacing them with their own user accounts and posting some sort of fake link to a mint. Matt said it best in his announcement. You guys probably all saw it, but in case you didn't, that they will never have any of these kind of pop-up flash mints with links. So if you ever receive some sort of invite to do that, and especially if anything ever says like that it's free, just be stupid careful. Ask the rest of the community. The good news is, the community hopped in pretty quick, pretty lickety split from what I was able to catch up on.
Yeah, I was wondering myself, did anybody get affected by this breach? Do we know of?
Yes. Yeah, there was
Some of us.
one user claiming to have lost 22 ETH, I think. No, 30.
See, I saw that one, but then I never saw them follow up. I saw that they like disappeared. Do you think that that was a legitimate claim?
I don't know. I mean, they did post a screenshot. They might have been someone in there just trying to take advantage of the situation. It's possible they could have been one of the hackers, or it's possible it was a legitimate claim and they had, accidentally clicked on the link and the hackers gained access to his wallet. I didn't see enough to really make a determination one way or the other. But, again, I'm always kind of skeptical in those things. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's just so hard with so many bad actors out there.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm more like you. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt, but when they didn't follow up, but I mean, even assuming one person did get affected by the breach, which would be really terrible. I mean, that's still like, 99.9% of the community was, at least educated enough or through the due diligence of the team by them always posting, hey, we're never going to do this. And then people like Kingsley, of course, and I think it was Danny Girl popping up right away and chiming in. So in any case, I just love seeing that. It feels like, everyone in the space is kind of maturing together and learning more and becoming less susceptible to those things. Sucks to see that the scammers are going to evolve too, but that is good.
Yeah, I think was.
Can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah.
Go for it, Kingsley.
I actually noticed it because it was around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So when I sounded alarm, I was immediately kicked within a few seconds. Then I was doing some read up regarding this kind of attack called the bookmarklet attack. I think there's a very good article I can post later in the Mafia channel. Yeah, I actually posted earlier, but I'm not sure anybody has seen it or many people have seen it. They actually describe how they carry out the attack. Like they actually try to impersonate a new crypto news site, news outlet to have a collaboration with a certain Discord project. And then when they win your trust, right, they ask you to click on some click and drag some book link to a bookmark on top to your browser. There's this window. So you thought it's totally innocent because you're not clicking on any link. So when you just do that, right, they steal your token already. So probably Steve might have done something like that. All the details are actually in the article. So they tell you how they do the attack and then how you can prevent it and stuff because they are targeting especially those crypto Discord groups. Yeah.
So you're
So
saying as soon as they execute that, their tokens are
Yep.
stolen?
Yep.
So
It's some sort of
Steve,
malicious bot.
did
When you
Steve lose any money in this hack, or was it just his Discord that was hacked?
Now,
his Discord token was compromised. I don't think he lose any money.
yeah,
He
yeah.
just want to take over.
Just to be clear, he's talking about the Discord authentication token, right?
Oh, okay.
Not tokens in a wallet, but
I gotcha.
Yeah.
what allows you to stay logged in while you're on the computer. So essentially, it already thought a session had been started by that user as Steve, as I understand it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Kingsley. I'll definitely go check out that article.
Yeah, I posted it earlier. I can repost it as well later.
Yeah, repost it. We'll put the link in the YouTube video when we put this out later today or tomorrow. Hopefully today.
Long and short of it is, if I don't know who's asking me to do anything, or if I don't know, like I remember one user in there, they saw the Night Smith. Unfortunately, that had happened earlier in the day. And there were a couple of users thinking that that was a scam. And, I knew that one was coming. And I knew that was directly, from Steve. And I had clicked on that link to go to that window. But I first, checked and made sure that the MIT was actually going on and things like that. However, again, anytime you got to click a link, just make sure you know who it is and you know what's going on, because if it's somebody you've never met before, or if anybody's reaching out to you to do something that's too good to be true, it probably is.
Right. And you got to be wary of like stuff like Kingsley said too, of people like that'll spend that time to earn your trust. Like I had a guy and luckily I already knew about this like attack vector, but they just messaged me like, "Hey, liked your content, da 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 da," like a couple messages like that. And so of course I always try to respond to people like that because I appreciate anybody that takes a second to encourage me, so I always respond. And eventually they led on that they were part of a project and that they were looking for people to, test their little beta game, and I'm like, oh man, red flag right there, and I Googled the exact name of the like program that he wanted me to use, and it threw up a bunch of red flags in Google for it, but I'd already recognized it and knew that it would before I even Googled it. So yeah, it sucks, man, but there are people out there that just want to scam, and it's terrible.
That's why I don't open up any of your links. The links that you send me, I don't even click on them.
In the message, if you guys see it, the Twitter space message. That's the article I'm referring to. The bookmark alert attack, which Con, I think the Con team actually mentioned. This is exactly how they do it.
Well, we'll have a look at that. Yeah, it's unfortunate that that people want to destroy other people's projects, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think what's interesting too is the day before Cornucopias got their hack, DEGA got hacked as well, and I see Rabbit's in here. What's up, Rabbit? But so it kind of sucks with like a brand new project like DEGA, like something that that was happening there is there's a person that was like fudding DEGA on my Twitter timeline because I just posted a video about them, and that was getting some traction because like literally several people had retweeted that FUD without even asking a question. You know, the moment they saw the FUD, it was a picture of Carlos, and they were like, "DEGA is a scam. I lost money to these scammers," and then people were retweeting that, and I'm like, "Do you have any proof of that?" You know, and then as soon as the DEGA account gets hacked, you know, there's people that are jumping in there, and there's a person who's a member of Cornucopias as well, and they were like kind of hot and bothered while they're in the DEGA Discord, you know, and you could tell that they were like just really trying to find a reason why this was on DEGA, you know, like, man, you should have done this. You guys should have rules in place, just taking wild swings and making assumptions. And then something happened where they got kicked for a second, and they go to Cornucopias and they're like, I told you guys, these guys are scammers. I got kicked just like I said I would. And I'm like, whoa, hang on. I think everything's just escalating out of control real quick, you know, but like, it just sucks how like, you know, things like that could damage a company's reputation too.
Yeah, for sure. I always when anything's like that is going on, I always just take a step back and just don't get mixed in to what's happening. You know, people fudding and all that stuff. I just want to see how things when DEGA got hacked. I just stood back. I didn't write anything. I just watched.
Yeah. One thing I learned, I think I read it in a book a long time ago, is that people will believe things that they're afraid is true. You know what I mean? So that fear tactic, you know, like it's just crazy to me how many people will just jump right in and start, you know, feeding that fire.
Yeah.
Well, but especially with the landscape of crypto. I mean, again, there's been so many reports of bad actors, projects, you know, those all get the huge headlines. And so when somebody comes out and makes a proclamation, I think our tendency just as human beings is immediately to go, okay, well, what if that's true? Then it's the end of the world scenario, right? It's kind of a fight or flight response. And I think everybody needs to really, just like everything else, do your own research, right? Go to the source. If you're not sure, you know, ask other people whose opinions you respect, or people that are close to it that know the facts of exactly what went down in the landscape around it. And like you, Freiler, you know, once you start doing that research, you'll find out, okay, it's either where there's smoke, there's fire kind of scenario, or in the DEGA, you know, situation, then you may find out that, hey, no, this is just a one-off deal. You know, turns out the guy was responsible for this or that, or it was user error or something. Again, I don't know the particulars of that scenario.
Anytime I've ever criticized that project, like, no, they're not, you know, like I just get like everyone coming against me like, oh, you're a fudder, you know. But then you got projects like Cornucopias, which constantly deliver, and you get people that come in here and they're like, what are you even doing? You know, like all the people that continuously call Cardano a scam, you know what I mean? Like they just turn a complete blind eye and they'll get like this whole mob going. So like in what way do people decide who to follow to battle on stuff like that? Like recently we had the whole Ledger thing, right? Like everyone got mad about the Ledger Recover. Well, at the same time, everyone's really happy about Vesper Wallet, which also in a way like stores your recovery phrase inside the wallet. I'm interested to see, because I know that DEGA, reading their roadmap, they have something not exactly like that, but they plan to like help you recover your seed phrase and things like that in the future too. So I'll be interested to see, you know, like, are people going to take that same strong stance? Like, why do people always kind of go back and forth on it? You know, like, why is one okay for this guy and not okay for that guy?
Well, to that point, I just read an article day before yesterday about a YouTube influencer that, you know, 12 and a half years ago came out with a video when Bitcoin was very first getting started. And it was hard to tell what the price of Bitcoin was at that point in time, but the article led me to believe it was around $1 a Bitcoin. Because the influencer was telling people, you know, at first he thought it was a big scam, right? And then he started going and reading the white paper, and he was a software engineer, and he looked at all the paperwork, and he said, man, this could solve a real big problem. This could be a big thing. So he comes out with this video that says, everybody out there, I encourage you, buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. Again, I don't know what the price was, but it made it sound like it was $1. And you sit there and you think back to that. And I remember when Bitcoin was coming out, everybody was talking about it's fake money, it's going to be regulated, China's not going to allow it, and like all this stuff. And you never really know, right? At that point in time, he was not doxxed. Satoshi or what not Satoshi. I can't remember the guy's name that invented Bitcoin right now.
Satoshi Nakamoto.
There you go.
I thought it was
Or gals.
I thought it was Steve Jobs.
So, and still to this day, he's not doxxed, right? So I can
Even
understand.
like his origin wallet was never touched.
Right. So the fact of the matter is, you can look at that, and I can understand skepticism around that. Everybody has to decide whether or not the risk is worth the reward, right? On any kind of project, in my opinion. You look at, you mentioned projects like cornucopias and DEGA, and there, some others out there that the people are fully doxxed. They're giving you updates. You're seeing progress. They're actually creating stuff. They're not just making promises to the moon and crazy outlandish promises and not delivering, and hiding in the shadows under assumed names and things like that. To me, they've got super fleshed out websites with detailed information about how and what they're doing, not just a single line graph of, hey, we're going to do this in in Q1, this in Q2, this in Q3, and it's got like 6 items on it. You can tell if somebody threw up a website in a day.
Yeah, or a roadmap and a light paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree, man. Good points.
Very good. Do we want to do?
It's Kaz.
Put Stein to sleep. What's up, Kaz?
What's up, my man? Hey, I got a question. Other than 2FA, I'm going back to the Discord conversation. Other than 2FA and changing our passwords, is there anything else we should do to secure Discord anymore?
Don't click on links. No, unfortunately, as far as I know, changing your password and making sure you have two-factor authentication on are the two biggest.
Yeah, because after this latest,
turn off your DMs. Don't allow people to publicly DM you.
Yeah, I've done that too. I mean, I've done everything I can think of, but it kind of freaked me out when you said that Steve does have 2FA and was still able to get hacked like that. So I was looking just now while y'all were talking, and I don't see any other things you could do to make it even safer.
To be clear, I don't have word specifically from the horse's mouth or Steve's mouth that he had two-factor authentication. Just previous conversations that I've had would make me extremely surprised if he didn't have two-factor authentication enabled. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he did, based on several other conversations.
I was also thinking about if you're
disclaimer, allowing for like a 1% chance, maybe, but yeah,
probably half Steve.
That. Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean he is very.
You make me look like a fool out here, man. I went to bat for you, Steve. I was like, nah, not Steve.
I was thinking about something else.
So, Freiler, you also, topic number 2, you wanted to talk about the Clash of Tribes.
Oh, man, if we only got 20 minutes out of Discord security, give me 36 minutes at the podium with Clash of Tribes.
No,
Stein, settle in, you guys. Hang on. No,
Stein's got peeing in the shower in reserve.
No, I also wanted to mention that I think people overlook that, using Discord on a browser is probably not as safe as using the Discord app on your computer. Because you can click on a link on your browser and, you can get it. I think there might be a way in. I don't know.
Well, it is true. If you, and I can't remember because I don't use it in a browser, but when you click on a link when you're in the app, whether it's on a mobile device or on a computer, it pops up a little window.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, are you sure you want to go here?
Right.
So that's one extra added layer. I can't remember. Maybe somebody in here who uses it in the browser can let us know if you still get that same pop-up, or does it just open up another tab and take you straight there?
Yeah, well, I think that's probably, I don't know. I think the browser is not as functional either. I don't think as the app. I always use the app. Just leave it on my desktop. So maybe you guys get the app if you don't have it. Maybe some people don't even know that there is an app for the desktop. I don't know, but I use Apple, so it's right through the App Store there. And I'm sure if you were on a PC, they have a download for it. But yeah.
Yeah, if you just go to the Discord website, they've got links to all of the
right
various apps. But make sure you're going to discord.com.
Man, if you're still going to Discord website, you actually just need to reevaluate your whole life. You're wasting so much time on needless stuff like navigating to websites that you could have apps on your desktop for. So yeah, if you've got bigger problems if you're still going to the website.
You got big problems, but
I do. I do have big problems.
I'll tell you an instance where I use the browser site. And that's when I'm streaming, because I have two windows open. I generally have the app open so that I can see my private Discord. And then when we're doing mints and things like that, I like to pop into general and see everybody posting their pictures and put that on the live stream. So I can have it in two different channels. I can have, all my DMs and stuff going in the app, and then I can show Corn General on the screen.
Right.
And be in two different places at once. That's about the only time I ever use it in browser.
Yeah, I've done that too. Like when you're streaming or something like that, I'll pull up two Discords. Like during the mint, usually I'll pull up two, so I can see what the hell's going on both channels. I wish they'd let you do multiple channels on the app, but they don't let you do that, which kind of sucks. But I don't think there's a workaround on that except to go to the website. You know what I'm saying?
A little tip for all you aspiring streamers out there.
Yes.
Well, or not even, you don't even have to be a streamer. If you just want two different channels open at the same time, maybe you want to have, Cornucopia is open and you want to have the Mafia open or something like that. Or you want to have the Mafia open and you want to be on Seven's server or Fryler's or mine or Stein's.
I don't have a server.
Whatever.
You don't have a server?
Well, then it's going to be awfully hard for them to be on your server.
I know. I need to get with it.
Yeah, you need to start paying attention. But
I don't think Empire and Chiaz have one either, so you guys could give them crap too.
They probably do. They just didn't invite you.
Oh, that's probably true. All right, change the topic.
Okay, all right. Clash of Clans. Clash of Tribes.
Clash of Tribes. We're not doing Clash of Clans anymore.
Okay. Well,
but yeah. So,
I don't know enough about it, so you're going to have to talk about it.
Yes. So this is a game that's being hosted by DEGA. So as many of you know, DEGA is a partner with Cornucopias, and they're gamifying their whole ecosystem. And so this is one of the first ways that we as different tribes inside DEGA as well, because the Corn Mafia is a tribe, the Knights have a tribe. So in any case, they're doing a Clash of Tribes, it basically takes place in their Telegram. Two representatives are chosen from each tribe to go to battle, and it's like a turn-based battle that takes place inside the Telegram. But right before the battle, they're going to share a link, and if our warrior gets more likes and retweets, they get more power-ups for the battle than the other person you're fighting. So it's about your engagement and how well you can reach your community and things. So we just had the first one. There was 150,000 DEGA prize. The next one is again 150,000, and then in August there's going to be 200,000 DEGA prize. So, a lot of DEGA up for grabs here. Last time it came down to the Knights versus the Mafia for the final round, and our boy Eric here, give him a round of applause in the audience there. He fought really well, but he ended up losing in the end, and the Knights took home the whole prize, you guys. So congratulations to the Knights. I'm glad that it came down to Cornucopias because, that shows that we're a really engaged community. But I would love to see, especially for you mafiosos here, a better turnout next time, hopefully for us. The Knights had like 3 times our engagement. They were organized. Like, my hat goes off to them. They came ready to perform this time. So I would like to see us as the Mafia do better than that. So
we were busy, man.
What's that?
We were all busy.
I was gonna say I saw KB post the link for Eric's battle in our server, and it was about 5 minutes to go before the Godparents meeting. So I quickly hopped into Twitter. I liked and I retweeted, and then I think Zeke had to go, but he was going like during our meeting, unfortunately.
Yeah, he had to battle. He was a battler, so he needed to be there.
And then I wasn't able to see. I had to hop on another call right after that. That was for me, the biggest problem was timing. And then
that's why it's great we have a month to plan ahead this time. We can't go back and change the past. We can't go back and get you and Stein to perform better. That's not going to happen.
Hey, I liked and retweeted and commented. Don't bust my balls, you bastard.
Well, I'm not busting balls, but I mean, you guys are the Godparents. You're our leaders. You're the top of this tribe.
Wait. Final round. I agree. I did not bring my A game on tweeting and retweeting. I'm sorry. Say again when the next round is.
July 21st.
July 21st.
I'm busy.
I was gonna say crap. I've got a thing that no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna take a little more strategy this time. Rally the troops and try and give them give the Knights a fair fight this time.
Yeah, and I mean it's almost like our first chance as a guild to actually come together and really do something. I know that we have some game nights like cart nights and things like that, but that's like kind of inter-guild, the poker tournaments and things like that. It would be really nice to go out here and compete in this, clash of tribes and actually win.
Yeah,
and
man.
I think I'm not sure how the DEGA distribution goes in the end. I was asking KB about it, and I think it might depend on. And Rabbit, if you have any insight and you feel like popping up, it'd be welcomed. But I believe what he said is he thinks it's going to go to like the warriors themselves initially, and then maybe they might split it with like the Mafia itself. So it might be that whoever.
Well, that was my question. Does it go to the tribe or does it go to the player?
Oh, good. We got Rabbit up here. Perfect. He might be able to shed some light on this, because I was still a little confused even after talking with KB. I don't think he had at that time a precise answer, but that was during the battles that I was talking to him. Welcome, Rabbit. Thanks for coming up, man.
Hey guys, no, it's been great listening in on all of you and hearing about stuff. And actually, I was taking a lot of notes because there's improvements that I was hearing kind of like between the kind of like between the comments you guys were making. So I'm sitting here like jotting like a bunch of notes down to make things better for your experience for next time. So I'll be sharing those. I actually just sent a message to Carlos too, being like, hey, I'm listening in on this conversation. I found like 3 or 4 things that we could probably improve upon for round 2. And he's like, busy, be right with you. So, we're working on stuff for y'all for the next time around. But yeah, so if you think about it, it's when you have a guild, just like you have your own guilds right now, or you have a tribe, it's kind of like a tribe wallet. So it's like if you've ever played a game like EVE Online or something like that, there's kind of like the CEO or a group of people who are actually kind of like in charge of your corporation. And that's kind of like what we're thinking about for the distribution of this. It needs to go to a place where you all can manage it. So as the tribes grow and as we start adding more tribe functionality in, We want to make it so that there's kind of like a tribe kitty where you guys can all put all your stuff in together. But that's not to stop you from kind of like doing that on your own as well. If there's like like I know Corn Mafia, I've been following you guys even before we started announcing, the Cornucopias partnership. You guys are like super organized. You have your own, superstructure of wallets and things like that you're already doing that kind of like tribe management piece. So it's like, well, maybe you guys want us to distribute the DEGA during TGE to that wallet. Okay, well, we can do that too. So it's kind of like, it's really based on the feedback. How do you guys want to do it? I don't want to like be dictatorial around how this is all going to go. I'm a big feedback person. It's like I'm always looking for ways to improve. I'm always looking for ways that you all want to do it, and it's usually when I hear 3 or 4 people say the same thing that there's an improvement. I'm like, oh, that's probably the way we should do it, because that's kind of like the consensus mindset around how this should be done. So it's kind of like a back and forth. It's like, we got some ideas, you got some ideas. We want to hear from you. We're going to tell you kind of like what we think, but never think it's like us trying to tell you what to do. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's perfect. That's really great. Thank you.
Yeah. So can I ask a question about the Clash of Tribes?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you guys have fun?
It's I did have more fun than I expected, especially considering that it was text based, but having a good prize really helps. And then, having we had at least like 20 members of the community. Even though we got beat out by the Knights, I still felt like we had a decent group of people that morning, that were all like really, we're all pushing, we're all trying to retweet. I'm DMing people, like we were all in it to win it. And it got me really engaged that morning. So I think you guys did a great job.
Okay, because there's the Freaky Rabbit show. Freak on his own is just like a beast. It's like he's that guy. He's that guy.
I was about to say, I really enjoyed the commentary. It was literally like watching kind of a prize fight, and you've got the announcers kind of going back and forth, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's the thing is, it's like, as this thing expands more, it's like we want to have you guys on too. It's like at the end we invited one of the Knights on and a couple of people on to actually have some kind of like post game commentary around stuff. And it's like, well, can we make it such that, maybe Freiler comes on as a commentator for one of these things or something like that. It always doesn't have to be the Freaky Rabbit show. He and I have like awesome synergy. It's I used to do things like this, like, before crypto, like getting on and talking with people and all that kind of stuff and doing podcasts and all those fun kind of things. But I have never had such a good kind of like stage synergy with someone like I do with Freak. So, I'll tease him and he'll act confused, and he'll be not confused, but he's confused. And it's just like a really fun back and forth. So if you guys are enjoying that, I really, really appreciate it.
Well, that's great, man. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, no,
I think Freiler would be good.
Without you guys,
Freiler would be good for that.
Oh no, Freiler's great.
There's quite a few people in the community that'd be great at that. But yeah, you guys are great, man, too. So.
Okay, well, I'm gonna kind of like fade back into the background radiation of the universe. If you want me to comment on anything, I'll be listening in for like another 20 minutes or so, and I'll be around. Just say, hey, Rabbit, you got a comment on that, and I'll jump in again. But this is your show.
Excellent.
Hey, well, awesome, man, and we do appreciate you coming up and just enlightening us and sharing the stage with us. So yeah, thanks again, man.
Oh, no problem. Take care.
All right.
Man, love when that happens. Here we are talking about the topic, and then the guy that has the information comes up, and you hear it straight from the horse's mouth. So, and I love that answer. Because I was a little confused on how it was going to break down. So I like the idea of having just like a tribe purse, where all that money's going into it, and then the whole tribe can benefit. That was the way that I really wanted it to go. I'd like that everyone that was participating can potentially benefit from it, so that it's really like a real tribe experience, and that there's not, because ultimately when you have like a hierarchy like this, it's hard for new people not to feel like they're maybe not as involved or whatever, and so if only the 2 chosen representatives were receiving the pot and then half of it went to the tribe, you might feel like, even though you participated, maybe this wasn't really for you, so I love the idea of a tribe wallet.
Well, and I like the fact that he called it a tribe kitty, because Stein already has a tribe kitty.
I was thinking that when he said it. I was coming up with a joke, but I didn't want to interrupt him.
A tribe kitty that won't shit on your floor.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I don't want to talk about that. It was horrible. Boy.
It's not, dude. Mine went on my bed 2 weeks ago. So, and she's young. That was like a straight up like F you to me. And I don't even know why.
I don't know.
Guys, I'm sorry. I got to jump in one more second here. So just think of, a lot of you are very aware of the DEGA ecosystem. So, what you can do with a tribe kitty is, you will, that big amount of DEGA and all of your NFTs together, if you think about how all this stuff works together, you guys as validators on our network, it's like you will be able to pay for your entire tribe operation through that. So, just don't think about, where it's going, but think about what you can do with it. What's the utility of that? You guys can develop your own games. You can create, from this place, you are going to be able to create a much bigger ecosystem within DEGA.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's actually really exciting, because I haven't even fully wrapped my head around all the possibilities, and I've read through the white paper several times now. But yeah, that's absolutely excellent to be mindful of that.
Absolutely. I think DEGA is a pretty good project. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. I think it's, obviously we've talked about this on the show, and I mentioned it, I believe yesterday when I popped in on your guys' Space Rabbit. But, when you believe like we do that Web3 gaming and the metaverse is going to be like a huge catalyst for mass adoption, I mean, then it's just a smart bet to bet on DEGA, right? Because that's a bet on like the whole ecosystem as a play, all of Web3 and all the metaverses and things like that are building on Cardano and on these other chains in the future as well. So,
yeah, but that's not financial advice, though.
No. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
Of course, that's just the way I think about it.
And you go back to the gold rush era, right? And who made all the money? Was it the guys out there mining it? No, it was
the guys selling
the tools. And DEGA has a plan and a roadmap for such robust tool set for you to, again, allowed to be tap into APIs and create your own things, and out of the box tool sets that everybody is going to need. So there's a lot of value there. And again, this is my own personal opinion, but I don't like to follow projects that don't have some utility. That's why I like gaming projects. I like anything that can solve a problem, and it sounds like that's what they're attempting to do. So yeah, I'm very pro DEGA as well.
All right. Okay. We got 17 minutes left. We gotta fill this void.
Well, clearly we're going to talk about peeing in the shower and
no, I didn't want to talk about
crapping
that.
on the bed.
No. We'll lose our audience. We'll lose our audience. Oh boy.
Lose me.
What was it Kevin Smith said in, I think it was Mallrats? My grandma said all the money's in dick and fart jokes.
It probably is. I know my father's favorite movie was Dumb and Dumber, and he was an old man.
Good movie.
I couldn't believe that he liked that movie. He's like, "Have you watched this movie?" This is when he was alive, obviously. And
I love all those little slapstick movies like Airplane and Hot Shots.
Yep.
And Dumb and Dumber, where it's just like one joke right after the other, just throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, my father's like, "Have you watched this?"
He's like, "Wait, You'll have to forgive my friend. He's a little slow. The town's back that way.
Man, two guys are gonna be really lucky.
Yeah. Oh man.
Wait, you've had spare gloves this whole time? Yeah, Harry, it's the Rockies.
You know, my favorite scene is when he puts the hot peppers on the sandwich.
That is pretty great.
It-
Carrie,
He blames
that's
me.
vintage Carrie.
Well, just Jim Carrey just squirting the ketchup and mustard up in the air was just so hilarious.
Table, squirting it up and putting his mouth over it. Oh, hysterical.
Oh my God. Here we are talking about movies, but I don't know. It was a good movie. I can talk about movies all day long. Shit. I love movies and cooking, but I don't talk about cooking anymore. I'm done talking about cooking. Oh man. So what else happened in the world? Anybody see that stuff about the UFOs?
No. What? Well,
About the
I don't know what you're talking. Which?
about the UFO whistleblower?
Oh, the Gersh guy?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I did.
I thought that was.
If we're gonna get into conspiracy theories, like first off, I believe in aliens. So,
Well, that's okay. I believe in them too. I can't believe the universe is empty.
Well, I was going to say there's a couple of things at play there, right? You can believe that there is extraterrestrial life, that the odds are, right, with enough planets out there in what they consider the life zone, that somewhere intelligent life exists. And then you can believe whether or not that they've already visited our planet. Which camp are you
I
in?
believe they have.
Okay, all right.
See, what you're doing right there is you're actually doing the extraterrestrial hypothesis.
Mhm.
So when you're dealing with the full spectrum of the phenomenon, you have to understand how evolution in the universe actually works, and the things that can be created at certain levels that you cannot see is possible within the second law of thermodynamics, especially with some of the more recent advances in thermodynamic theory.
Who invited this guy in here? He's making me feel bad about believing in aliens.
Oh no,
No. I think
so.
his point. I think
Yeah.
he's trying to prove that there's an excellent chance it does exist. That
You guys wanna-
in some form, somewhere out there, there is intelligent life that is not us.
Yeah, I believe it. I was just messing with him, anyways. Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I believe I've always believed that they're here or have been here. I don't know.
You want to hear a crazy story? Why I believe in aliens?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So back when I first started hearing about the Phoenix Lights and all these different things, and I started researching into aliens, and I was really interested in it, but I was taking everything with a grain of salt, and I thought it was mostly conspiracy theories, but I was just reading anything and everything. And I would read a lot of accounts of abductees, and almost every time I would just dismiss it as crazy, you know what I mean? But I still was very interested. And one day I'm reading accounts of these abductees that were talking to humanoid aliens that said they used to live on the planet Earth, what they called Terra, a long time ago, and that they had left to go habitate these new planets. And these new planets it was either 1,600 or 1,200 light years away in the Lyra constellation, and they described how they had 2 habitable planets around the same sun, and that they had left that planet due to some cataclysm to come back to Earth to see how shit was going here. I'm thinking wow, this is a crazy, weird story, right? In any case, a couple of years later, I'm working at a gas station, and this is around that huge Planet X boom where they were finding all these Earth-like planets and posting it in the news and things like that, And so front page of the Democrat Herald, our local newspaper, scientists had found the most Earth-like planet to date. It circled a sun in the Lyra constellation 12 or 1,600 light years away. And the weird thing about it was there was actually 2 habitable planets that circled the same sun. So here, years later, totally far and away from this weird encounter story that I'd read years ago, here is science corroborating this crazy encounter. And so I don't expect anybody else that didn't actually read or go through that experience to believe any of that crazy nonsense, but I was blown away. So
Well,
that's my crazy story.
I thought I saw a UFO once. I was driving down the
You were
highway.
high.
No. Well, I was high. I was actually high. I will not. But I saw these lights up above the clouds. I was like, wow, what the hell is that? I was driving down the highway. And I was like, oh shit. I said it's moving because I can't get closer to this thing. It's like going in front of me and all this shit. And then I pull into the city, and what it was a 4 spotlight system for like a nightclub opening. You know, those big spotlights, and they were shining up on the clouds. So it looked like there was light coming from above the clouds. That was my UFO story.
You know, I often wonder how it would all go down if and when we are able to confirm this. I mean, because that's kind of a scary thought, right? I mean, right now it's kind of all just theoretical. But let's say it becomes made public, or somebody announces something, or they show proof that's kind of indisputable, or a giant spacecraft comes in and is in our atmosphere and we can all see it, or something
You're
that you
aware of the
can't
Phoenix Lights, right?
Yeah.
do. What now?
You're aware of the Phoenix Lights incident, right?
I do not. I'm sorry.
So a giant spaceship, like literally like football fields wide, flew low over the city of Phoenix. There was 14,000 people that called it in, including naval officials from the base nearby and a bunch of people. And it all got swept under the rug. And there's documentaries on it. And there's a documentary about the documentary where there was like the governor or whatever, the representative for the city of Phoenix, like swept it under the rug. And then later he's in a documentary saying like, hey, yeah, I was under political pressure to sweep that under the rug. We were scared. And it's very fascinating. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of research on that because I find that fascinating. And yeah, I'm not generally a UFO conspiracy theorist. I don't hunt down those. I did find it interesting when a few years back they released a whole bunch of documents from like the last 50 years from the government and things like that. And I thought it certainly leaned a little more towards, yeah, maybe they are already here. Originally when I was younger, I sat there and I thought, okay, yeah, there's definitely life out there, but I don't know about them being here. But my question, or what I would be most interested is to see interviews with people that saw it and their reactions. Literally, like, and I realize you can't go back in time, but I want to see like the day it happened. I want to see them interviewed. So I don't know if anybody interviewed them, within minutes after it happened, or hours, or whatever. But that initial shock factor, I'm curious to see what kind of effect it had on the general population there.
So I did want to jump in and answer your primary question, or at least take an attempt at answering your primary question, which was, what do you think would happen? Well, we've already had a test of what would happen. And the test of what would happen was COVID. Some people believed one thing, some people believed another thing, and factions formed and people fought over what the truth was. You're going to have that exact same thing play out with any kind of large announcement. In the United States, it would have to be a bipartisan effort because otherwise factions would form and it would become a political issue.
Yeah, most
and
definitely.
Then everyone else would jump on board their team and start fighting the other team around what it is. So it's like, it's a very, very sensitive topic that would have to be released in a very, very particular way. But even right now, inside the United States intelligence community, there's factions there. There's people who are actively trying to stop this information from getting out, and they will do anything to hold on to their secrets. Whereas there's people like Rush who came out and said, this isn't right, guys. We need transparency into this. People need to know. So it's the fight has already started, and it's been going on for a long, long time now.
Yeah, I remember when they started to try to get the documents released from Project Blue Book and all that stuff. And I don't know. I think you're right on point with that there will be people that believe and people that don't believe, even if there's proof.
Yeah, that's the scary part is what level of proof would you need for it to be overwhelming? But I think it's going to be exactly like Rabbit said, where, I mean, even if you had aliens touch down in like every major city in a coordinated effort and it was all televised, like they would just flip it and say, well, they're here to attack us or something. You know what I mean? They would still control the information and the narrative in what way they could.
Well, I think the people, I don't think it would change much. I think people just have to will just live their daily life knowing that there's aliens. I don't think there will be any weird war or anything.
It's
think,
tough to say.
I was going to say, to me, it depends on what level, right? Freiler brings up a great point.
Yeah, if they come here to attack.
Irrefutable proof in a small group of people. There's a whole different scenario is if there is a hovering spacecraft above every major city, like you see in some sci-fi movies and things like that, and it's being televised and all of that, because then the question does become, all right, friend or foe, right? And I agree. Human nature, we're going to have people on both sides of that argument. There's going to be people saying, "Oh, they're here to wipe us out," and then there's other, no, they're friendly. Let's try and befriend them. And obviously, actions would take place that would, at some point, make their intentions known, right?
Well, what's very interesting is that and I'm gonna use phenomenal terms here. So it's like, from results vary from manifestation to manifestation. So it's like, as the phenomenon presents itself to some people, it may tell the truth. And sometimes when it presents itself to other people, it lies. Sometimes when it presents itself to some people, it's peaceful. And some people have died through injuries via the phenomenon. So it's like, they're not, whatever it is, this phenomenon that we've been experiencing, whatever it is, isn't really being straight with us.
Well, I think there's a good chance it's kind of like us, right? We have good and bad entities, both, right? So I've seen some of these documentaries where, they stopped a missile from firing, when we were, trying to shoot down an aircraft carrier or something like that, right? And then you hear about other ones where people are abducted and experiments are done on them. And so I could totally believe that any kind of alien race would have different factions just like us. And some of them may be, in fact, magnanimous, and some may be, very have a, destructive agenda.
Yeah. So if you go pretty deep in the rabbit hole for aliens, that's what they say, is that there's like several different races of aliens, and, some are more benevolent and some are more malevolent or whatever. So you've got ones that intend to do bad, and you've got ones that are intending to do good. But I kind of imagine it like Scruffy said, I imagine it's a lot like us, like what takes us to another continent or another country, resources and things like that. So we're there with an agenda, you know what I mean? And even though the guy to your left might be a good guy, the guy to your right might not be, we're all there for America or whatever that main purpose was that sent us there. But, there'll be varying shades of gray. Pretty
50
pretty
of them,
interesting.
to be exact.
Yeah. Well, we only,
as you guys can probably tell, I've studied this actually quite deeply.
well,
So
great. I get into it quite deeply myself, but we're running out of time. So
yeah, and that's what I was going to say, is I have to leave.
Yeah.
This has been fascinating.
Well, thanks for coming along, Rabbit.
Space next, please.
I was going to say,
so
this is an entire space.
I will do an entire space on UFOs. I will, because I love that.
I've actually got some friends who run podcasts. They're like, the Ryan Spriggs of the world and stuff like that. Yes. So it's like,
well,
if you want, if we want to, I can reach out to Ryan and see if he's down to have this kind of level of conversation or something. Well,
hook me up on hit me up on Discord. My name is Stein over there.
Yeah, but we can't do it next week because we've got Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monsters.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Oh, more manifestations.
Well, hey.
I'm going. Bye-bye.
Take it easy, Rabbit.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
Thanwant Rabbit. Appreciate you chiming in, man.
That was awesome. I'll do a space on UFOs. I don't care. I love the subject. I just want to. I'll have a space, and if people want to come in and listen, they can listen. But that'd be awesome. It'd be fun.
Better bring your A game conspiracies, man. I want to talk.
Man,
about this
I
shit.
got some.
Figure some shit out.
I got some shit figured out. All right, guys.
I've got some crazy stuff still in the pocket.
Any final words from either of you?
Aliens are real. Epstein didn't kill himself. 9/11 was an inside job. Have a great night, everybody.
Oh no, God, don't say that, man. Now we gotta continue the show.
Now you're gonna have to edit. Damn it! Now I gotta do work after the show, Skylar.
Oh boy.
Edit that too. That's my real name.
Scruff,
Edit that out.
any finals?
Be safe on Twitter. Change all your passwords. Don't click on links. Have a great rest of your week. And yeah, the truth is out there.
Yeah. Listen to what Scruffy has to say. That was good. Hey, when's the I'm gonna do my little thing here. When the hell is the 4th of July? That's next next Tuesday. So I want to wish everybody here in America a happy 4th of July.
It's actually Independence Day. It falls on the 4th of July. That's a common misconception.
Oh boy.
Stein's on the East Coast. He doesn't really celebrate.
I'm on the East Coast. Yeah. So
Yeah,
all right.
You're in like one of the original 13 colonies.
Well, actually, we do have some relatives that were on the Mayflower. So in my family lineage.
Your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. It's my fault the country ended up this way. God damn it. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Maybe next week we'll talk about UFOs.
It out.
All right, let's play some sweetness. If I can get this going.
Give them what they came for.
This has been a Corn Mafia Guild Twitter space with your hosts, Stein and Freiler. Please join us every Wednesday at the same time, 5 p.m. UTC. We would like to thank all of our guests for their insights and input on today's topics. We also would like to thank all of you, our listeners, for taking time out from your busy day to join us. A full audio version of this conversation will be provided on our YouTube channel. You can find out more about the Corn Mafia Guild at our website, cornmafiaguild.io. So, until next week, thank you again, and have a great day.